Just looking back at this last weekend, your thoughts on the two games against UTEP?
Yeah, obviously, disappointed. We felt like we, had a good shot to win both the games. Came down to one possession both games, and really just Friday night was a story of, you get to the free throw line, we missed 10 free throws, we lose by 3 at home, and felt like we defended well enough, held them to 61, and gave ourselves a chance to win. I just, we didn't take advantage of those opportunities. We got to the free throw line, and I say this all the time, but those missed free throws are silent turnovers. You're losing opportunities to score, and it's momentum, and just kind of a deep breath for the opponent, because they fouled and you really didn't make them pay for it. So that was the story on Friday. And then on Saturday, thought we came out and scored the ball well, thought we really attacked their zone, thought we were really stagnant against the zone on Friday after we got off to a 7-0 start and they called timeout. But then we got a 11-point lead in the third quarter, thought we were really, kind of clicking on all cylinders, held them to 28 in the first half, thought we were doing a pretty good job defensively. And then third quarter, it was like about 4 minutes to go, we just couldn't get a stop. I think they scored on 12 straight possessions. I called timeout. We talk about what they're doing, how we're going to defend it, what we need to do. Go back out. They continue to score. I think they ended up scoring 14 of 16 possessions. And that was with a timeout called and a quarter break. And we just couldn't, we were in a 1-point game or 2-point game, had plenty of chances to tie or take the lead and just couldn't. And they ended up going up like 7 in the fourth quarter. We fought back, got it to 2 multiple times, and just couldn't execute well enough to get a stop on the defensive end of the floor. And the bottom line is we had some slippage in terms of how we needed to defend. And credit UTEP, I thought they executed really well. I thought they made some tough shots. I thought they made some plays. But we didn't do the things that we needed to do, and that what we had done on Friday and in the first half that dictated what they should be doing. And we just kind of let our guard down and just couldn't finish it off. So frustrating, but also know that we've got a lot of basketball left to be played, hopefully. And we're still right in the thick of things. And, we lost 2, and we're still sitting here at 9-5. Although after losing 2 at home, you feel like you're 0-14. But it's just time to go back and get better, watch film, and go to practice today and get prepared for Southern Miss.
Questions?
That wasn't very quick. Sorry, Malcolm.
That was fine. Bo, go ahead.
It looked like rebounding was a bit of an issue too, Brooke. What can you do? How do you head into next week? What can you do to try to get better on the boards?
Box out. Real simple. I think it's been pretty clear. This team, we got off to such a good start, and our defensive numbers are really good, and so much of that is because we haven't allowed a lot of second chance opportunities, and we've kept teams to one shot. And when you're holding teams to 57 a game, like, you're doing something right. Well, I just felt like we did on Friday night, we gave up too many offensive rebounds and just kept some possessions alive for them. It was deflating for us. And then we didn't go get any offensive rebounds. We missed enough shots for us to go get some. We shot 41%, so there were still some shots out there to be rebounded that we didn't go pursue. And I think we got to get back to when we're at our best rebounding-wise with this group, our guards are rebounding. And we had two games this weekend where our guards just didn't rebound. I'm not sure Razel had a rebound one of the nights, and it's got to be a collective effort. This team is really, really good when everybody does their job, and collectively we're pretty good when that happens. But I just felt like we had a number of people that just didn't do their job in terms of how we defend a ball screen. Where do we force the ball? Are we blocking out on every possession? And, we're playing a Southern Miss team this week twice that's +3, I think 3.5 on the boards. And they're going to be active on the glass. They're going to go pursue the ball. We've got to all 5 box out, limit them to 1 shot. And then we got to go get some offensive boards. There weren't a lot of rebounds to be had on Saturday because both teams shot it so well. I mean, we were right at 50%, and they were, I think, at 51. So there weren't a lot of extra rebounds to go get, but we definitely got to get more than we did last week. We got out-rebounded in 2 games by 18.
Questions? Go ahead, Corey.
Brooke, I'm curious. Obviously coming in, you guys knew what the different format was going to be when it came to conference play. Uh, so with playing back-to-back games on these weekends, through four of these things, I mean, did you guys have like a goal set up in terms of, look, we at the minimum by the first weekends through this, if we're sitting 500, we like where we sit.
I want to win every game. I think we go out with a mentality of I'm going to compete today to win today. And whether that's at practice, whether that's in the classroom, whether that's, in a game, I think, obviously I'd rather be 4-4 than 0-8. But I also go, I feel like this team could easily be 7-1 with just the close games we've been in. I don't think we set out to. There's so much that's unpredictable right now in these times and what we're dealing with. We hope that we get to play on Thursday, and we still have one more test to pass this week and a hurdle for us to be able to play, and then we have to await Southern Miss's results. So I don't think we're taking anything and looking at it and going, okay, we need to be here. We're just trying to compete that day, and whoever we have available, we're trying to go out and give great effort and try to get better. And I think it's maybe not unrealistic for us. Not that we're not trying to achieve certain things, but I think we've been more process oriented as opposed to just straight result oriented. If we handle these things and these categories defensively, rebounding, offensively, shooting percentages, shots, in the paint, things like that. If we can be more process oriented, we feel like those results will ultimately take care of themselves. But I think there are a lot of things out of our control: who plays, who doesn't play. If going in, not to look past this week by any means, but if we go into next weekend, we will have played 3 opponents in conference play that have had 2 or more weeks to prepare for us, because they've had because North Texas didn't play last weekend and they're not playing this weekend. So Western Kentucky had over 2 weeks to prepare for us. Marshall had they had like a month to prepare for us because they canceled before Christmas. So there's just a lot going into it, but we're trying to get better every day and just trying to go compete.
Ben, you got something?
Coach, you talk about obviously losing is disappointing, but what is your message? Like you said, you kind of feel a little bit extra, as far as being down when you lose games at home. But how do you keep your girls focused on that being process-oriented versus just living on the results, like a lot of 18 to 22-year-old kids could probably hang their hats on?
Yeah, I will. It's honestly not just them. It's hard for us. I want to win at everything we do, and I'm not very pleasant to be around. And I have to go home and put on a happy face for our children to make sure that they think that, everything's okay. But mommy's upset because, they lost 2 games. But for us, I think the message today, and this is what I've talked to our staff about, is we can be frustrated with our result, or we can be fascinated with what's to come and what the opportunity is that we have. And I think that you got to approach every day that way in life. You got to approach, every opportunity that we get to compete with this group. And what I don't want them to forget is that feeling, especially our returners, of when we walked off that floor in Frisco and it got taken away from us, and just not having the opportunity to compete. And for us to make sure that we're not frustrated. You're frustrated enough to make some changes and to correct some things, but you're not frustrated that you lose your fascination with what's to come and what the possibilities are for this group. Because, I mean, we still have not played well yet. And you can look at that as a head coach being critical or critiquing things, but I mean, if you've watched us play, we haven't had all 5 starters or all top 7, 8 kids play well on the same night yet. And I'm hopeful that happens at some point here this month and into March, because when it happens, I think we have a chance to be really good.
Brooke, talk a little bit about Southern Miss.
Yeah, it's a completely different roster. They have some returners, obviously, and Almond, their starting point guard, Kelsey Jones in the post, Allie Kennedy on the perimeter, but they have a lot of new faces. You don't have your typical Shantae Hales, Alari Mays, Respect Leaphart, Amber Landing, those kids that have been there for so long that played so many minutes for them. So they have some new faces. They've played a lot. If you look at their minutes played and their roster, they have like 6, 7 kids that are playing over, actually more than that, maybe 7 to 8 kids that are playing over 20 minutes or right at 20 minutes a game. So I think they were trying to figure out how they need to play. They've won, and obviously you go to Middle Tennessee and you win there on a Saturday on the second day of that swing where they got beaten by 20 on Friday night and then come back and win on Saturday. They have something about them, and I think they've started figuring some of that out. Wormsley's played well for them, was named Freshman of the Week this last week, scored it really well against UTSA at home last weekend. So we're going to have to do a great job, handle their zone. They run kind of a non-traditional matchup that involves a lot of switching and some different stuff. We've got to be solid with the basketball, and we've got to really attack and take what what they give us. And then we've got to force the issue a little bit defensively and force them to take some tough shots. And then I think the rebounding effort is going to have to be huge for us this weekend. We've really got to get back to focusing on that and making sure that we limit them to one shot and we don't give them any easy shots because of that. And then we got to go create some extra offensive opportunities. Sometimes in the zone, you don't have a particular man you're matched up with in order to box them out. We got to get out of our circle and go get an offensive rebound and create some extra opportunities offensively.
Corey?
Brooke, how would you describe your and Joy's relationship? And when you've got I know the coaching fraternity is a small, close fraternity. When you have a member of that fraternity going through what she's going through, just what kind of perspective it puts things into?
I think, if you don't know someone, there's a great deal of empathy for what she's going through. I think it's even more so when you do know somebody and that you worked for and that you have respect for as a mom, as a wife, and as a coach. And I know how she competes every day in those 3 areas. And it makes you, I told Malcolm this last night on the radio show I can be frustrated that we lost 2 games last weekend, but I also go, I'm healthy, my family's healthy, I'm not dealing with what she's having to deal with, and we're fighting to get our team better, and she's fighting for her life. And I think there's a lot more perspective when you take a step back and you look at those things and you observe that. And I know she's got a great faith and great belief in who she is and who she lives for, and I know that that's going to carry her far. But she's in such a battle, and we know that she's got great support, obviously, from her university and the people on that campus and that community because she's been there for so long. But also Dennis and Whitney and Connor, just their immediate family and her parents, what they're going through to support her. And she's supported so many people and been the rock for so many people for so long. It's hard for her to just knowing her, to sit back and take that support from everybody else. But I know she's really, really grateful for it. And, we've been praying for her. And obviously, seeing her in person will probably be difficult on Thursday, but just want her to know that we're supporting her and that we love her and we're praying for her, and that we know that she's going to attack this and continue to fight and battle and find her way through this.